Now, we always tried, this was, tried to, after kriegen for Rebbe, to get out from the Rebbe should give something. I wasn't already working in the Sichas since Pesach time. I got married Sivim Amalef.
Yeah.
Since then, around Nisan time.
The Hanachas is a Bacher project.
Aleph. I was still involved in things, but I decided, since coming up Siyum Sefer Torah Kloli, that's going to be finished by Besrivke and Isru Chag Shevuos, mir eingefallen that maybe we should take the Maimer Lovening Sefer Torah, the Rebbe said by the completion of Mashiach Sefer Torah, Erev Shabbos Tes Shvat, and give it in. This was a Hanocha of the style of Hanochas. I don't write Maamorim. I worked it off very much, and then Reb Shalom Chartonov fixed it. I typed it up and gave it in. A short while later, I meet Rabbi Groner. Rabbi Groner says, "Who is asking for the Maamorim?" And the Rebbe doesn't give out Maamorim. Who is requesting it? I never heard of anything like this. When someone has to request, the Rebbe once he gives out. What am I doing now? I went to Reb Leima Minkowitz, passed away.
Bechla, but you didn't realize that it was an interesting thing that you, on your own, gave it a Maimer?
Yeah. The Rebbe has a choice to give out whatever he wants, but
It never happened. I mean, usually there's a goof that gives it.
That wasn't. I don't believe that was the issue. But why is the Rebbe suddenly giving out the Maimer?
Mm-hmm.
So I went, but I couldn't tell Reb Leima Minkowitz what exactly is going on here. This is all things that today you could share it. They share everything today. And I asked him, I told him kind of something, what I asked from him was, I need an empty stationery of Besrivke with your signature on the bottom. I need to type up a letter there. He looked at me like suspicious. What am I trying to, like something? He looked at me like, I knew him from before. I knew him well. But I kind of half words, and he gave me, I typed up a zettel in his name that he's asking the Rebbe the Maimer. Gave him the Maimer to the Rebbe. And to my luck, my mazel, the Rebbe was Magir the Maimer. Okay, we're preparing the Maimer for second Agor. Obviously, you write a Pesach Dover, and Pesach Dover, it says, Bekesher, you ever saw the Pesach Dover?
Yeah.
Bekesher, Machnos, Sefer Torah, whatever, for Besrivke, an. The Rebbe gave out the Maimer. The Rebbe takes and cuts off the whole Pesach Dover, most of it. And he writes, simple as that, Bekesher, Chag Shevuos, Abolen, Letevo, and whatever the rest of it, Pesach Dover. Now, what I do? I asked Rabbi Groner, what I do? I told Rabbi Minkowitz something, and I said, we decided, we're going to tell Rabbi Minkowitz, you get the whole Hakdosha for all the Kontresim, is going to be the Hakdosha for the Siyum Sefer Torah, and that was good enough. After that, I said to myself, look, if Shevuos is a Yom Tev for a Maimer, why not Yud Beis Tammuz? I had the Maimer by me. I kept copies of things that Rabbi Yelkan would give in other years, or which never came out, which I kept copies. I had the Maimer Satli Recha, which was prepared on the request of the Rebbe from the Tri Maamorim.
Tov Shalom Dvav.
Tov Shalom Dvav, the Tri Maamorim of Shabbos Chukas, Satli Recha, Shabbos Chukas, Yud Gimel Tammuz, Dvav Tammuz, which was prepared by Rabbi Altein. And I took it as it is. Maamorim Kemis was so bad that at the time the Rebbe mentioned he was basing it on a Maimer. We guessed, in the Maamorim Kemis, Rabbi Alten guessed, it was Tov Reish Pei, because the Maftech of the Rebbe's Maamorim, it says that the Rebbe Rashab wrote a Maimer on that posik, the capital of Rashab, when he passed away. But we weren't sure. But I just gave it in as is, and I went away. It was that time in the Catskills. I came back, and the Rebbe gave out the Maimer. Mugadik, of course, on top he wrote the Maamorim Kemis, Vachoser Behem, like exclamation mark, like, of course, I added all the Kemis were missing. I updated everything. Everything was already many form. This is 10 years later. After that, I decided, if the Beis Tammuz Yom Tov could Chayel also, and then the rest is history. Rosh Hashanah, and all those countries when it came to Rosh Hashanah, because incorrectly in the Sefer Maamorim Basel Lagan Chelek Aleph, you have the Maimer of Rosh Hashanah, the two Maamorim Adenelom and Yom Shrosh Adenelom, and the Maimer of Sukkot and the Maimer of Shmetzer Simchas Torah, all not with the name Kuntras. The Rebbe was shown, I gave in to the Rebbe, I have it, a Sharblat, a big Sharblat, printed Kuntres, Rosh Hashanah Tov Shem Zayin. The Rebbe approved it, and actually was printed then, but by the printing machine of Anochos Belahak, with the name Kuntres. The same thing was the Sukkot was printed name Kuntres, and the same thing Shnatzes Chastere. But when the VAD reprinted it, because they needed to have the holy ACS, not the old, the Frank Riel of the regular machines, so they changed the name the way they liked. Actually, by the time they printed the Melukat Chelek Beis, they already knew that this is what the Rebbe wanted. They saw the Rebbe's continue Kontreisim. And I think, and I spoke to them lately to one of those people, that they should put in all those Maamorim also, that a Sefer is not normal to start from its Kislev. It doesn't make sense. I don't know, maybe someone reprinted, even though it's irrelevant because we have the Teres Menachem. And then the rest is history. The Rebbe started being Magia. Of course, this was an addition to other work. I also worked for a living. It was day and night sitting with Reb Yael, mostly at night. Something later, I think in the late Tov Shem Ches, Chaim Shol also helped me out, but I think most of those Maamorim, most of them, I typed. I did the simple Marmakemis.
To be able to do it where would he do it?
Reb Yael would write it. Wherever he had a place, where was he going to see it? Sometimes in his office, sometimes he practically came to my house. He came to my house, sat the whole night, not to be home. I was up with him, just to keep him company. And the few little pieces of silver we had in our shafes, most probably didn't have doors with glass. In the morning, everything had to be shined again from anew. My kids had no clue. In the morning, they would ask, who is this old man with a white beard sitting here a whole night? But this is what it was.
They need to be shined, you're saying, from the smoke.
From the smoke of the cigarettes. The whole house was... Today, it's unacceptable. But Reb Yael needed two things to write a Maimer Asicha. He would need cigarettes and something to eat, which always meant sardines. Today, they don't even sell it in stores. I guess it's not so healthy. It's interesting.
It's actually very healthy.
You should take it talking about cigarettes, that
the sardines part.
after Chav Zayin order, he asked me once to buy him a pack of cigarettes. I said, no, now I'm not buying you anymore. Till now, I had no choice. I had to provide you cigarettes. But now, I'm not buying you anymore cigarettes. So, and like this, we worked all the time, put in a lot of time. It's something interesting. This was the Maimer of Chof Cheshm of Ayom HaMachasa Tov Shem Lamed Zayin that came out Tov Shem Zayin. This is also in Melukat Chelek Aleph, belongs under Kontreisim. As it said over there, on each one on the Pesach Dover on top was typed Kuntras Chof Cheshm, Kuntras Sukkes, Kuntras Shmini Atzeres. And that one, on the Pesach Dover with the Gelis, the long papers that used to give to Magid, those time was 11 by 17, folded in half. The Rebbe wrote there, Einas man gromar lagia maimer eda pam ve'en ledover safe. There is no time to be magid a maimer again and again, and there's no end to it. And then there was another piece written there about something specific. And the Rebbe wrote that it seems that their opinion is that they have to explain in the Ha'oras of this maimer every place in Chumash. It says the word Yediyah and the shit of Rashi and the Diyukim and everything could be explained. And then the Rebbe said also there's a Micht of Kloli from a year, question mark. In that letter, in the Ha'oras, is explained about the shit. At the time, I remember Reb Yael did not exactly know if he was referring to the Maimer, even that there is V'yadaito in that Maimer. Could be there was something else that the Rebbe used this Pesach Dovo to write. I never went to verify to find out. I wouldn't be able to either. They wouldn't tell me. From Tov Shem Ches, I said Chaim Shol helped out a lot. We ended up one time, he said, it was some place in Montgomery. I don't remember. I remember the basement on Crown, close to New York Avenue. We sat there for quite a while. And sometimes in the Maimer also, is Yitzchak Uminer, Rabbi Yitzchak Uminer. He was a fast typist, a very young bocher, would help me out here and there sometimes, a few times to type.